Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is KN Victoria. Today I will discuss about types of syllabus. So let's get started. The different types of syllabus. Different approaches to syllabus design are categorized into main types. Product-oriented versus process-oriented syllabus. Synthetic versus analytic syllabuses, type A versus type B syllabuses, product-oriented versus process-oriented syllabuses. David Noonan, in his book Syllabus Design, page 27, drew a distinction between product-oriented and process-oriented syllabus. He pointed out that product-oriented syllabuses are those in which the focus on the knowledge and skills which learners should gain as a result of instruction. Also known as the synthetic approach, these kinds of syllabuses emphasize the product of language learning and are prone to intervention from an authority. Emphasize the product of language learning. Acquisition is a process of gradual accumulation of parts. Learner is being exposed to a deliberately limited sample of language. Wilkins, 1976. According to Rabini, 2002, product-oriented syllabuses focus on what the learners will know as a result at the end of instruction session. Learner is being exposed to a deliberately limited sample of language. Wilkins, 1976. According to Rabini, 2002, product-oriented syllabuses focus on what the learners will know as a result at the end of instruction session. Noonan, 1988, explains that product-oriented syllabuses are those in which the focus is on the knowledge and skills which learners should gain as a result of instruction. The product or the end, the grammatical, lexical, situational, and notional functional are the examples of product-oriented syllabus. Number 2, process-oriented syllabuses. Process-oriented syllabuses are those which focus on the learning experiences themselves. Process-oriented syllabuses, or the analytical approach, according to Rabini, 2002, developed as a result of a sense of failure in product-oriented course to enhance communicative language skills. It is a process rather than a product. That is, focus is not on what the students will have accomplished on completion of the program, but on the specification of learning tasks and activities that she will undertake during the course. Process-oriented syllabi operate in terms of the purposes for which people are learning language and the kinds of language performance that are necessary to meet those purposes. Wilkins, 1976, page 13. Procedural process and task syllabuses are examples of analytic process-oriented syllabuses. Types of product and process syllabus. Product-oriented or process-oriented. Product-oriented syllabus is first grammatical syllabi, situational syllabi, lexical syllabi, notional functional syllabi, skill-based syllabi. Process-oriented syllabus. Task-based syllabi, procedural syllabi, content-based syllabi, the natural approach syllabi. The distinction between product-based syllabi and process-based syllabi can be summarized by saying that in process syllabi the focus shifting that in process syllabi the focus shifts from the outcome of instruction. The knowledge and skills to be gained by the learners through learning experiences and the process through which language and skills are gained. Synthetic versus analytic syllabi. Synthetic syllabus segment the target language into discrete linguistics items. Different parts of language are taught separately. Wilkins, 1976, separates language syllabi into synthetic and analytical types of syllabi. Segment the target language into discrete linguistic items. Different parts of language are taught separately. Structural, lexical, notional, and functional and most situational and topical syllabuses are all synthetic. Long Crooks, 1992-1993, Long and Robinson, 1998. Wilkins, 1976, argues that synthetic language teaching strategy is one in which the different parts of language are taught separately and step by step so that acquisition is the process of gradual accumulation of the parts until the whole structure of the language has been built up. Page 2. The silent example of synthetic syllabus is grammatical or structural syllabus. Analytic syllabi. Analytic syllabi focus on the learner and his needs and on the kinds of linguistic performance necessary to achieve those goals. The second fundamental type of syllabus distinguished by Wilkins is the analytic. The analytical syllabus is a semantic, meaning-based syllabus which aims at developing the learner's communicative competence. Analytic syllabuses focus on the learner and his needs aims on the kinds of linguistic performance necessary to achieve those goals. Wilkins, 1976, page 13 to 14. Analytic syllabuses treat language as a whole and emphasize its communicative aspect rather than its structural qualities. Analytic syllabuses are organized in terms of the purposes for which people are learning language and the kinds of language performance that are necessary to meet those purposes. Long and Robinson criticism focus on meaning. Some types of analytic syllabuses, also called focus on meaning, in Long and Robinson, 1998, have been criticized for example, lack of needs analysis, lack of accuracy and attent, unlearnability of some grammatical features from positive evidence only. The distinction between the synthetic and analytic syllabus is that the former is of the view that nature of learning is additive, while later holds that the nature of learning is holistic. It is worth noting that one should not take synthetic and analytic approaches as being dichotomous. Approaches should be taken as being conceptually different, and any course syllabus could be placed somewhere on the continuum between the wholly synthetic and the wholly analytic. Type A versus Type B. Former Another Perspective, White, 1988, explains that all current syllabuses fall under two categories, Type A and Type B syllabuses. Type A syllabuses. Two Type B syllabuses. Type A. This type deals with what should be learned in a second language classroom. Discussing the question of organizing language content. Allen, 1984-66. This type deals with what should be learned in a second language classroom. Most syllabuses that fall under Type A syllabus are best represented by controlled practice, sequentially presenting language items one at a time, whereby learners are expected to build a gradual understanding of language. Here, the teacher is the authority in the classroom. Type B. Consider the question of how a second language should be learned. Consider the question of how a second language should be learned. Here, the emphasis is on the learning process. Objectives of the course are based on the needs of learners. The teacher and students work together. This type of syllabus is useful for the author in developing learners' communicative skills. Type B syllabus stand for process-oriented analytic syllabuses, content or skill-based syllabuses as Type A, and process and the procedural syllabuses as Type B. Different form of Type A, Type B syllabi. Type A syllabi forms: a structural syllabus, a situational syllabus, a notional functional syllabus. Type B syllabi forms: the process syllabus, the procedural syllabus, task-based syllabus. Salient features of Type A and B according to White 1988, page 44 to 45. David Noonan, Professor of Applied Linguistics at the University of Hong Kong. C.J.N. Candling, Professor of Applied Linguistics at Macquarie University, Sydney. Henry Widdowson, Professor of English of Speaker of Other Languages at the University of London. Christopher Bumfitt, Professor of Education to Language and Linguistics. Dale Hymes, a sociolinguist. Mac Halliday, a functional linguist, and Carl Koenig, the author of Approaches to Syllabus Design for Foreign Language Teaching 1987, and many others have proposed, suggested, and supported the following 6 types of language teaching syllabus, including the structural syllabus, 2. the notional functional syllabus, 3. the situational syllabi, 4. skill-based syllabi, 5. the task-based syllabus, and 6. the content-based syllabus. I will discuss 6 types of syllabus our next video. So thanks everyone.